Welcome to the Diaspora Door Podcast, where stories soar and cultures collide. Join us as we journey through vibrant voices and untold tales from around the globe. Let's celebrate the heartbeat of the diaspora together.
Diaspora Door listeners, welcome to the Diaspora Door. It's me, Nze. Some of you know me as Nze Obinelo, and I'm your host, and I am excited to be here with you as always. I appreciate those of you who are fond listeners and appreciate those of you who are new to the Diaspora Door and taking the time to be here with us and learning about what's going on in the diaspora, and better yet, how what's going on in the diaspora connects not just people in the diaspora with each other, but also connecting them still back with their homelands that they have come from. It's now spring. I think it's been a couple of days, and the rebirth and joy of spring. Everyone's quite excited all over various parts of the world where there's snow. Snow is melting, and people are excited about that for sure. Today, I am honored to have a guest on the Diaspora Door who's going to tell us about a nonprofit that she just started. And her nonprofit is supporting those in Nigeria. And our guest that we have on today is Sister Mary Hilda Uzokwe. And she is a Reverend Sister from the Congregation of the Daughters of Mary, Mother of Mercy. She has experience with human rights, working with human rights and advocating for human rights of individuals. She lives in Annville, Pennsylvania. And I just kind of thought we'd start off by just getting a little sense of who Sister Hilda is and what inspired her to become a Reverend Sister, and was that something she knew of when she was very young? And just for her to tell us about just growing up because she was born in Nigeria, growing up in Nigeria and what that was like, and siblings and that kind of thing. So, Sister Hilda, my friend, thank you so much for being here with us. It's great having you here. I guess the first big question is, what inspired you to be a Reverend Sister?
All right. Thank you so much, Nze. My precious friend, a nice person, a good Catholic. I'm very excited to be here and to talk about a little about myself and then the charity I began. So I was born in Nigeria in a small island, Uguta. Uguta is in Imo State, and I'm one of 7 children, just before the last.
You're the last?
Just before the last. Yeah, I'm the 6th child.
Wow.
Both parents are dead. My parents lived and died in the UK. I have my siblings all there in the UK. And I would say my mom told me that I started saying I would be a nun before I turned 7. So I don't know how it happened. And I sustained that interest and that desire. And then after secondary school, even though my dad wanted me to go to college before going to the convent, I said, no, Dad. And my mom supported me, and I became a nun so many years ago at age 20, and I've enjoyed it so much, and it's been my 38th year. With formation, it's my 41 year this year.
My good 41 years. Wow. Holy smoke. You might as well be the next, if Reverend Sisters could be popes, you should be a pope. Wow. 41 years, my goodness. Is that all in Nigeria? Is that all in Nigeria? You did the majority of it? Or?
I worked in Nigeria for quite some time, for close to 20 years, studied in Nigeria, my first, second degree, Actually, I studied philosophy before I studied law, and then went over to the UK, did my master's in law and my PhD in law too. Ever since then, I've had very strong interest in advocating for the poor and the poorest of the poor, to be the mouthpiece, actually, of downtrodden. I was going to build a career in teaching after I studied philosophy, but then I had a visit to the prison that turned everything around. And my superior at the time said, go for it. And so I went into law. And then about
wait, Sister Hilda, wait, you're racing through things. What do you mean? You went to the prison, and what does that? It reminds me a little bit, and I wish I could remember her name. The Louisiana, there's a Reverend Sister who's well known, who did a lot of work on death row. I don't know if you know of her.
I visited a prison with a friend of mine in Nigeria, and what I saw, I was speechless, at what I saw. So many people who were not even supposed to have been there, who had not been given a fair trial, and who are just languishing because maybe one powerful man put them there. So after I had that experience, I was blown off my mind with pain, and I said, I just want to represent these people, not just begging people to help out, but helping out myself. So one of the things I did actually after I graduated was to get lawyers, pro bono lawyers, Catholic lawyers, who could help get out some of these people from prison. Until I was sent to the UK for further studies. And after that, my superior transferred me to the US. And I've been in the US since 2010. Well, it's been a long journey with the poor. I decided to start the Hope for Indigent Persons when I discovered that now and again, I don't keep even the money that I receive, because as a nun, I cannot keep the money I earn. So the little that I get given for my needs, personal needs like cream, soap, I will just take a little of it and use the rest to do charity in Nigeria. And there are too many people. Up until July last year, when a friend sent me the sister-in-law's picture, she had breast cancer, and the cancer, her breast had been completely eaten up, by cancer. I felt so bad, and she had no money, so she couldn't go to the hospital. The husband had spent all the money he had, and then she was languishing in pain at home, and I felt terrible. So I started calling up friends here in the US. Please help me to help this lady take her to the hospital, and I raised a lot of money. So she can get at least palliative treatment, even if it's, because chemo is very expensive, and treatment. So I raised a lot of money. So I said, so I can actually beg and get money from friends, and that was how I'll set up something and become a professional beggar to be able to help people out of pain, to empower the poor and all that. So I can't believe how much I have been able to do. If you go to Hope for Indigent Persons, you would see the website, how much we are doing, how much we are able to do so far. Helping with, empowering people with not too substantial a sum, but enough to help them begin petty businesses and sustain their families, especially widows and single mothers, and very poor people. I actually don't help people who are educated and who have no job. I help the poorest of the poor, mostly illiterates, whose husbands have passed. And I also extend it not just for feeding, but begin petty businesses for them. Maybe with 100,000, you can roast corn on the side road and get money to feed one or two children that you have. So that's what we've been doing since July last year. And we've helped quite a number of people in this regard. So, well, if there is anybody listening that wants to serve as director, that wants to help, the website is Hope For Indigent Persons. Once you get there, you can see how to help us. Thank you.
No, that's incredible. Totally incredible. So the Hope For Indigent Persons, the name of your charity, please, it is helping individuals in certain part of Nigeria or all of Nigeria? Is it just Imo State where you are from, or is it
all of Nigeria? If I get any call from anybody and they say, hi, I have this person doesn't even have money to feed herself, lost her husband, or the husband is still alive, but they are very, very poor. Okay, let me see. And then I'll please ask the person, what can you do? Don't say anything big, because we live on charity. I get from charity that I used to help. So we're not able to give anything very significant, So some we have given 100,000, some 50, just to do petty businesses like roast corn, roast plantain.
100,000, Sister Hilda, you want to make this context so people, are you talking 100,000 naira or $100,000? Just to make sure, because people are going to say, wow, Sister Hilda, where is this $100,000 coming from, man?
No, not dollars. So we give me the most I have received is $500 from people here. That's the most I have received. But I haven't really put it out there because I want the application I made for tax exempt to come out so I can give people letters to get their money back in taxes. So that's what I'm waiting for, and it will soon be approved because I applied since last year and they said give at least 6 months before you contact us.
Okay. Sister Hilda, please, because I have a million questions about the program that you put together. Before I get to my million questions about that, can you just talk a little bit about being a Reverend Sister who studied law? So the woman that I was thinking of, who's the Reverend Sister who has worked on death row with inmates who are on death row, is Sister Helen Pregine is her name, and she's in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And she wrote the book Dead Man Walking. And it became a famous movie and all this kind of stuff. So she does a lot of work. I'm sure, I believe some of her story was similar to yours. She had been exposed to death row and seeing individuals there and wanting to spiritually support them. As a lawyer, you studied law. How many, are there a lot of Reverend Sisters who study law? And why did you study law? Because to me, I don't think of a Reverend Sister studying law for whatever reason.
There are a few of us that are lawyers in my congregation. In other congregations, very, very few, because they don't let us, study law like that. But if they think they need us, they permit very few people, maybe 3.
And why? Why don't they permit Reverend Sisters to study law? What's the deal?
Well, honestly, I don't know the leaders and why they don't, but I will tell you my personal experience, okay?
Thank you.
graduated, I was in a court, and this was a murder case. Okay,
Wow.
It was a murder case, and the man who was being tried for murder, I think
in Nigeria, was it Nigeria or the States?
Nigeria, yes. Okay. Mm-hmm. So the man, you could see, you can't conclude by looking at people whether they are criminals. No, that would be huge. But in this instance, the person that was killed had witnesses who had all been eliminated.
Wow.
Each time a witness was going to come in, the person is killed before the court hearing.
Oh,
and
boy.
The judge kept reporting this, and that day the man was released. A third person had just been murdered, who could have been a witness. So there was no witness. All the eyewitnesses had been killed. So I was shocked. I was brutally shocked when this man was released. And you could see how his eyes were going around the court from one place to another, very restless. Even somebody who wasn't a judge or a lawyer would conclude quite honestly that man was a criminal by his actions. Mm-hmm. How he was,
his body language, you're thinking.
Body language, his behavior, everything. So I was shocked that the judge said, well, since there are no more witnesses and people are no longer ready to come and witness to this, we have to let this man free. I broke down. Wow. I broke down. I went to the bathroom and I cried my eyes out. I said,
were you his lawyer? Were you? Mm-hmm. Why were you in that court? Were you the lawyer for him or the victims?
No, I wasn't. I was there I was there with my principal. The law firm was the prosecutor.
Okay.
The prosecutor for the defendant. No, the defendant lawyer representative, because the state will get their lawyers for the. So I said, no, this is not where I want to practice law. They depended on only eyewitnesses, nothing again. Okay, so that is one among several things that happened. Then when I got in here, I went to a university, Indiana University of PA, and that was criminology. And I read cases and cases of, something like, what is the difference between Nigeria and here? The minority, racial profiling and all those. And that was when I said, no, maybe I will go into teaching or advocate for people, but not anything about court. So, Sister, the author of Dead Man Walking is American. She is able to get into the system, do stuff. I applied to work as for the prisons. What was that position? And after interviewing me, he said, "Are you going to wear this to work?" That was what. Yeah.
What did they mean? Like your
religion. I said, yeah. She asked, "Are you going to wear this to work?" I said, "That's the only thing I have worn since I was 17 plus. I'm not going to take it. Part of me, it is called a habit. So you know what? I am always in this. Once I am outside," he said, "Okay, no problem." But that no problem, you know what it means? They didn't hire me. And then I called them and they interviewed me. They fixed an interview again and said, "Oh, we didn't know you studied criminal justice. We didn't understand
These
that."
These are the same people who said, didn't hire you.
Yeah, because I know that I did well at the interview. So there was no reason not to hire me. It was for probation officer. I was very new here then. I was just 1 year in the US. So it was for probation officer, yes. So, and then because I had worked before that time with an organization that catered for prisoners, I saw their challenges. I wanted to help out, you know, at a more professional level. And they put me on for another interview, but you know what? I didn't go. I didn't go.
Because they said no before, so you didn't go because you're why?
I didn't. So quite honestly, my experience as a lawyer who is also a nun is that, you know, the law is not about following strictly the legislations or the rules. It's about who is smarter, who can knock off the technical issues. It's not about the truth, quite honestly. It's about which law can argue better. And so see that people get off very serious crime because they have money and they hired very brilliant lawyers to represent them. And for a person like me, it's an issue. Somehow I said, no, I should never have chosen this profession. And that was why I wanted to say, okay, go into teaching or into advocacy that doesn't have to do with the law courts. So I'm still struggling to find my footing in the
Okay. So, Sister Hilda, what you're saying is to practice law. That's not something that you're seeing for yourself to practice law. Okay. But advocacy is where you see yourself, or teaching, or even teaching.
Two things, advocacy or teaching, yes.
Okay. Well done. So bring us back to then the Hope for Indigent Persons. How do you, because I can imagine there's so many people to help in Nigeria. So how do you determine who you're helping and how you're helping? Because once that word gets out there, and I'm sure the word has got out there, how do you prioritize who you're going to help? Like, for instance, how many people so far have you helped? And when did you start it? When did you start the nonprofit?
About July last year.
Okay, July. So how many people have applied for assistance since July?
Well, I do, for now, it is strictly referral. You know, people, some nuns that I worked with at home will call me and tell me about things. I will assess it. But as soon as the application that we, tax application is approved, a number, I will let directors determine who to help. I know that they say it will be a lot slower if it's directors that we determine, but I think that will give it better validity to have them decide who to help and who not to help. But for now, it's solely me who takes that decision until I straighten things out a little bit more. So I have helped numerous people just because, like, I don't know if you heard about the stampede, people who were stampeded to death because of bags of rice, like 25 people.
I did hear of it, but can you describe it for our listeners? A lot of our listeners won't know what that was all about.
This happened at 3 different locations, but the one that
in Nigeria, this is in Nigeria.
In Nigeria, just before Christmas, this rich man in Anambra State, Uli or something, invited people to come and take bags of rice to celebrate their Christmas. And maybe only 50 people, 50 bags of rice that he wanted to give out. I mean, thousands came for that. And while they were sharing this, there was stampede, and 25 people died. Stampede death. So that I remember having my director's meeting 2 days after that incident. I didn't sleep for a couple of days. I told them that I have 2 Caucasians on that the board, and I told them. They broke down. They said, the problem we have here is what to eat. We have so much food. You open your refrigerator and you don't know what to eat because
in the United States, you mean? In the United States.
But here are people. One of them told me, "Sister, I am humbled." They were crying during the meeting. I said, I didn't even share the photo. If I shared the photo, it would have been a disaster. So at that meeting, some of them gave huge amount of money. One person gave 500. Another person said, "I will tell you what to give." Eventually gave me over $200, and so that was very helpful. I just called a few friends and said, if you know of anybody who can afford Christmas meal, please let me know. So we were able to give out
What do
money.
you mean? What do you mean if you know of someone who can afford Christmas meal? What do you mean?
Who cannot afford Christmas meal?
Cannot.
If you know a family or individuals who cannot afford Christmas meal,
yes,
please let me. And I got so many names. I chose like 20 of those people, called them. I didn't send through the people. I got their numbers from people who recommended them, and I gave them, for families of 5, I gave like $50 just to have good Christmas meal. For families, for one person, I gave maybe $10. So that was how I distributed money that period, just to make sure that people at least enjoy their Christmas. And then one of the board members, who is Caucasian, said, please tell me, how much will it take to feed a family of 5? And I responded in Nigeria, and I responded maybe $1. Another Nigerian on the board said, no, sister, you are underestimating. Nigeria is a lot more difficult and more expensive. Food is more expensive than in Nigeria than in the US. And she said, minimum of $50. And so the board member just didn't understand, the Caucasians just didn't understand how, because he said, with my family, if we were 5, we can eat very well with more than $50. And I said, I gave them instances. I said, one chicken that you might get maybe $3-4 here, it's 15,000 during, around the Christmas time. So that was what we did that Christmas season, to make sure that so many people had access to good meal for Christmas.
Go nowhere. We will be right back after the break. To stay updated with our activities, kindly follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Diaspora Door Podcast. You can also visit our website at www.diasporadoor.com.
How are your board of directors, how many board members do you have?
6.
And how did you get them? How did you find these board members?
Some of them were people I knew, that I know that I met them when I was working with the refugees. They helped me a lot during the program, raising funds for families that couldn't resettle without external help. So I contacted some of them, and they said, they were willing to serve as members of board. and I got them in. I'm still looking for more people anyway. So in case you have somebody who loves the affairs of the poor, of the indigent, not just poor. There are different categories of poverty. These ones are really, really indigent people.
And you said you had Nigerians also as board members. So you have some Nigerians and then non-Nigerians, like you have individuals who are from Pennsylvania, who are originally from Pennsylvania on your board?
Oh, no, not from Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Maybe 2 board members, Caucasians, that are from here. All other board members are not from here. They are from some, like I have one in Massachusetts.
Okay.
Another one that lives here, Nigerian. And just like that, they are spread about in the U.S. And so we always have via Zoom, another one in Atlanta.
So again, are the majority of your board members Nigerians or non-Nigerians?
Nigerians.
Okay.
Very few Nigerians. I have only, 3 Caucasians, but one has not been very active. So we are thinking of how to get her out. But 2 Caucasians, other ones are Nigerians.
Okay. So you have to do a lot of education for the individuals who are board members who aren't familiar with Nigeria, nor have they ever been. I gather they've never been to Nigeria.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
There are they keep asking, Caucasians, they keep asking questions about, how do you know who to help? These questions you ask now, until I told you what you are going to be the ones to determine who we can help. The only problem is that the time difference, if you want to talk to somebody, because our meetings here is usually weekends and in the evening. It is late there. So but I told them you have to make that decision, because it's even hard for me to get this information and, assess people that really, really need help against those who don't need help.
Okay, I get it. So then, who are you connecting with on the ground in Nigeria then because I'm sure there's a concern with people who are donating money from here that the money will get to the people in need. So who is your trusted source?
Nze, you are something. All these questions you are asking were the questions that board asked me, especially the Caucasians. They asked all these questions, and I told them, I lived in Nigeria for more than 2 decades before coming over here. So I worked with so many people. I can always call people and say, please find somebody in your town that is really struggling, who is a widow and whose children are not even able to go to school because she has no money to cook, to even feed them. And then they will look and tell me. And then I would always find out. So they said, but you need to have somebody on ground who will be the person assessing these things and all that. I said, so I called a friend of mine that I know, and I told, he's a priest, and I said, can you please find a very nice person who will be able to represent us? Because they said, get somebody from Nigeria into the board, somebody resident in Nigeria into the board. That was their recommendation, So I said, okay, we've been searching to get somebody who will be willing to serve pro bono, because we have no money to pay anybody. It's charity.
Yes.
We've been struggling to get somebody. We've not been able to get somebody from who we serve as a member of the board from Nigeria. Isn't that interesting?
Wow. So even through the church, because you said there was a priest that you were talking to, so even through the church.
Well, even through the church. Because he promised that there is somebody that he will recommend, talk to him, and then tell me that the person is so good. If you ever give the person money to do anything, he will execute it to the last. And then I said, that sounds exciting. Please, can you link the person up with us? And I never had anything from him after that.
But is it tough, them thinking, okay, how are they going to connect with you and your group in the U.S. and for them to be able, again, to identify, because the need is so great, right?
Yes. The need is so great, but if you go to my website, I say we can't help everybody in the whole world. It is one person at a time, according to the resources we have. And I know that there will be people to really give us substantial amount of money, but for this application that we are waiting to pull through before I now make it open. For now, it's only very few friends like you, Nze. I told you about it several months ago, and a few family members who are also willing to be giving me something, help their kiddie sister, every month to help the people she wants to help. So apart from very close ties, pals that I have, I've not really made it that open until I have this application approved and get the number.
Right. Yeah. Tax exempt. So, Sister Hilda, what about groups like Rotary, like, the Rotary associations and stuff like that? Is that something to connect with or to help?
Yes, I think I really don't know what the Rotary Club does. I don't know. I have to learn more about what they do, but I want to tread really carefully. Okay. Because Nigeria hard for many people. The only people who are comfortable, perhaps, politicians are very, very few people who work in the oil sector. So I want to be cautious when I'm connecting to people to make sure that they don't take advantage of resources meant for the poor. We will get there, but for now, we are not there yet. We get there and straighten things more, straighten things out in such a way that we won't even have much to do with the people that get help. Those in Nigeria get these people, we move the funds to them, they disburse to them, and make sure they follow up to that people do not say, oh, I can do this, and they get money to start it and they divert it to other things, We need to follow up so that we can, so that the help we say we are giving, we are giving that help.
Okay. Yeah, because Rotary that you're asking about, Rotary oftentimes they do help internationally, and they go into different countries and help internationally. And there are various Rotary clubs in various cities. I don't know if Annville has one, but Harrisburg has one, Hershey has one, and they do international work, like even medication, polio projects, all kinds of projects around the world. So when for the people then on the ground in Nigeria, you talked about wanting to, it almost sounded like you were talking about helping some people, like women, find some sort of work to do, like you were saying, even roadside, selling corn or fruit or whatnot, roadside. So how does that, who would they connect with in Nigeria to get them settled? Like, are you sending the money directly to them or to some other entity?
No, send the money. There is a sister that works in Uromi. So in fact, the one that has given me the, if I have helped, I would. If I had helped, or the charity had helped 20 people, 10 people are from this sister, because she is also very devoted to the poor, visits in their homes and takes care of them and all that. So when she recommends anybody, I just do it through her. I will tell her, please figure out what this person can do, what a petty business she can start up before giving her this money. Don't just give her the money and then she blows it on food, and tomorrow she will come back to you. So she's been very instrumental in getting beneficiaries of this charity for me, and then other people also in other areas. Some even people I had known who, like somebody called me yesterday. She's 65 years. She didn't have any child. She's an only child also. So she's just all by herself in this world. And she said, "Sister, I am dying of hunger." And she was a caregiver. And she said, if you are able to connect me to a sister or a priest, father or mother, they are looking for caregivers, I will very gladly take care of them. But I'm not able to find, so I've been giving her money for her medication. In fact, when we finish this meeting, I'll see if I can send money from the charity account for her, for this month's or next month's medication. Maybe add a little more because she's diabetic and she's hypertensive, so she's on so many pills, and she has to.
How would someone like her, how would she have got your information? How would she have even got your number to call you?
Of a blind man that I know, that I've been to visit when I go home, so she's no longer with the man now because the children decided to take care of the man themselves. And so job she was doing. So that was how, even when she was taking care of the man, because the money she was getting was only $30,000 a month, I was also supplementing, buying her with her drugs. I would get on a monthly basis to get her medication, so it's not been easy.
Wow. So as you said, you're working with widows and widows who have children. Do you have children, like children who are maybe older children who you're helping, who maybe don't have family, or is it all the children that you end up helping are like, I don't know if you have orphans or...
I don't have like older people who are by them. It's very rare to see children who are on their own in Nigeria with no parents, because of we have like a communal way of living. If you lose your parents, your uncle or your aunt might take you. So I don't somebody living by themselves, but I do have individuals who are very, very indigent that I help from time to time.
And when you say time to time, what does that mean? Why is it from time, like?
Sometimes once in 3 months, sometimes depending on their need. Like this woman that is 65 with very many health issues. It's almost like every month. If she has to be alive, she has to have access to her medication. There was even a time I spoke to one of my doctor friends here, and she got her all her medications for 6 months, and I sent it home to her.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It's about connections. Wow. Wow.
So I do such things.
How do you know how there are some Nigerians who go home on like medical missions to help people? Do you have you connected with any of those individuals for medical mission or?
Oh, yes. Even my own brother wants to start a charity hospital in Nigeria when he retires in the UK, end of this year. He said, please God, that he will retire end of the year, and he wants to begin a hospital where people, he's a very renowned gynecologist, and he's aware of how people die, and children also. So he's planning to begin a charity hospital. People will not have to make any deposit. He was telling me about this, spoken about it quite a few times to me, and he would not take money, require people to pay money to be registered or card, no deposit, and then he will assess if you do not have money, he would treat you and give you medications free. But if you do have, he said it will consist of serious interview. He will get in a social worker who will interview a patient that comes in and get their data, biodata, and make sure that people don't take advantage of the hospital when they can pay, So, quite honestly, I told him, I said, that if he begins that, I will be very happy, and I will now connect to pharmaceutical companies and see if we can get some of these medications. In Germany too, they are very, very kind. One of our sisters told me that is a nurse, said, sister, if you see the number of medications they throw away on a daily basis in Germany, so I can tell them, please don't throw away if they are not expired. Please keep those, and I will go get them. We have plans to really help the poor because the situation at home is very pathetic. I don't know when last you were in Nigeria and how often you go to Nigeria, but if you go home, you are going to cry.
Yeah, it's tough.
It is horrible. It is something. Anywhere. They brought so many people. It wasn't, and of course, Nigeria, no light, so they won't have a blood bank. It is a donation. And they searched, and this girl was fast passing away. And then my brother said, what's her blood group? And it was my brother's blood group. He had to do that girl to leave, so
he gave his blood. He's donated his blood.
Yes, he donated. So, Nigeria is tough, but he's already planning where to buy medical equipment and ship them home. Already has the land where he wants to build the hospital and all that. And by God's grace, if it is really charity, because I know he is inclined to helping the poor. And when he talked about this, I was very delighted. And I said, brother, I'm going to do anything to help you realize this dream, because I feel for our people. and the preventable death of people who are giving birth, maternal death and all that can be used around where we live and all that. He plans to establish it in my hometown.
Okay, right. Does he do medical missions? Does he go home for medical missions?
No, the brother, my younger brother, did about twice,
Okay.
And he said that when he begins the hospital, he will come and get his colleagues, maybe 2 or 3 of his colleagues who are experts, and they will do surgeries for 3 or 4 days, and he will fly them back.
Yes.
Yeah. He has plans for all that.
Wow.
The immediate younger brother is a psychiatrist.
Okay. Wow, you got quite a few medical people in your family, Sister Hilda.
Yes.
Wow. You're all caregivers. Yeah, you're all caregivers. Wow. That must have come from your parents, right?
Yes.
Wow, that's huge. Well, Sister Hilda, this is incredible information. We'll certainly put your website, the Hope for Indigent Persons, on our Diaspora Door website so people can see it and, make donations and get the word out there, kind of thing. Yeah. No worries. Is there anything else you want to share with us as far as, even your future and where you see yourself? Where do you see yourself in 3 to 5 years with this nonprofit or even your own career?
My profession as a lawyer has helped me so much in other areas. For instance, most of our sisters who face, there is no place that there is no oppression or people feeling being oppressed or being persecuted. I am a strong advocate for the sisters. I will call the authority and say, no, you can't do this. No, this is wrong. No, you can't. And I'll do that very fearlessly, So in this regard, it has helped me so much. And so somebody, I was sharing with a friend of mine, I said, everybody I thought in the university are professors now, but I'm still struggling to find my footing. He said, sisters, please don't ever feel like that. Everybody has their vocation. Your vocation is to help people. You know how many people you have helped in the past years, So if you need to know and to find satisfaction that your vocation is to help. So in 3-5 years, maybe I see this, nobody has benefited from this charity in Imo State.
Oh, okay.
The place I've given most help, is it Edo State? Yes, Edo and Anambra. That's it.
Is there a reason why those 2 states?
No, just where I get referrals.
I understand. Okay.
In Lagos State today, I don't know, people I know are in these states. Or a referral from somebody in Lagos State, I will help.
Wow. And when you're giving money to people who are looking for assistance, and you may have mentioned this, is that money you're transferring it straight to them or transferring it? I think you said you transfer it to another, someone else.
I have transferred a few to the sister I told you about that works at Europe for the clients that come from her. Otherwise, straight into the account of people that I'm helping.
Okay. And you've found that all of that money, like they get back to you to say, okay, this is what they've done with the money and where it's been put to good use.
Why honestly, there are always people around them. I don't speak to them directly. The people benefit. No, I don't speak to them because they would have been referred to me by somebody. So it's the people who gave me those referrals that I contact and ask their well-being. Are they coping with there was somebody, it's a nun too, and it's her needs. Oh my. When they showed me the store, her retail store that she displayed all the things she was selling, I was really happy. And I said, well, I'm grateful that she put the money she was giving to good use, and I hope that she succeeds. And get too much money, I would empower them more.
Yeah.
You know? Because I want to follow them up and make sure that they get to a state in life where they are able to even pay for their children if they get into college. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get you. Yeah, because you're trying to empower them so that they get up. Exactly. And they're not going to be in a situation where they have to continue to come back to you for assistance. Yeah. No, it makes total sense.
They see you, and I'm hoping that at some point you will help us, even if it's $50 every month. We'll be very happy. You know.
Okay. Sister Hilda, I will definitely see what me and my family can do. Definitely. We'll see what we can do. Yeah, we'll see what we can do. But I do appreciate your time. It's good education for people in the diaspora as they learn more and more about what goes on outside of the diaspora, as in the homelands of people who are living in the diaspora. So it's a big deal. So I appreciate it. I appreciate your time. It's always a pleasure. You've got lots of experience. Wow, it's huge. And a really huge heart, a very caring heart. So thank you for all you do and all the people that you're assisting. It's great. Well done. Thank you.
And the people empowering us, because this money isn't mine. People give me to others. So God uses me as an instrument. Not, you know, if you make that money, my money goes to my congregation. But I wish, because I could do so much for people if I had the opportunity to use the money I make. You know?
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I totally understand. Well, again, thank you. We will get the word out there. Definitely. Thank you. And we'll have to have you back on, especially after you get your tax exempt, and to see where things are. Yeah, but definitely. But thank you, Sister Hilda. Thank you for your time.
Well, thank you so much, Nze. Appreciate you, and thanks for the good work. Okay.
Thank you for the great work. You're great. Thank you. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, please.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
The Diaspora Door Podcast is brought to you by Nze Obinelo, Abiaksem Victor, Chinenya Alozie, Ginika Mado, and Anthony Daniel, and produced by Soundprove Audios. Distributed on Spotify and our website at www.diasporadoor.com. Executively produced by Nze Obinelo. Music mixing and mastering by Anthony Daniel. Signing out. See you next time.